This week we are giving you the rundown of one of the gems of Kansas City, Fountain City Con, with our friends Barry and Judd. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger!
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week, we are going to be talking about something we are extremely excited about with some friends of ours in just a moment. And I don't know about you, Taylor, but I'm pretty pumped. I can't wait for this to happen in just a few short days. But before we jump into the big topic of the hour here, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week?
Nerding out, I don't know during the week, but today, me and the little one decided to go to Walmart for a few things. And like I do, I go down the clearance aisle to see if there's any, action figures or whatnot. And today I found they're like new He-Man toys, but they're not He-Man. They're like wrestlers. They have like Street Fighter ones, and DC did them a couple years ago. But I found an Undertaker one, and I was really pumped. So that's
nice.
mine for the week.
That's awesome.
And I got it for $7, so, big win.
Big win for sure. Let's see, for me, I'm nerding out about, well, this is kind of blasphemous as a teacher to say that I'm getting a little excited for the school year. Don't get me wrong, I don't want summer to end, but on the flip side, I'm a little excited. And this coming school year, I'm moving into a much larger classroom because one of the really cool teachers from our department who did the advanced stuff retired, and I have all of his advanced classes next year. But with that comes a much larger room. And the past couple of days, my wife and I have been over there just decorating the heck out of that room with all my nerd posters and my Funko Pops and my cardboard cutouts and stuff. And today we finished, and it just looks so awesome. So that's kind of what I've been nerding out about, how cool my new room looks.
Right on.
And we mentioned earlier that we are excited about an upcoming event. So without further ado, you guys know that in a few short days, August 5th and 6th, we are going to have one of us at the Taylorverse, one of our favorite events of the year happening, and that's Fountain City Con. And with us tonight are Barry and Judd from Fountain City Con. Barry and Judd, how are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
We are doing awesome.
Great. I do actually. I was going to talk to you about this, Billy, before I knew that Barry and Judd, but now that they're here, they can maybe chime in on this. We
sure.
actually had a text conversation about it.
Uh-huh.
When's the last time you guys saw Bruce Timm's Superman Doomsday movie, the animated one?
Oof, it's been a while.
It's not the double one, but the first one they did.
Yeah, it's the one that they did that coincided when the animated series was like on regular rotation.
Correct.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Probably when it came out. That's it.
And
Okay.
now that you brought it up, I guess I know what I'm doing when I get home.
Well, I might change your mind. So,
Intrigue.
I have been rewatching a lot of movies, and so I decided to rewatch every Superman movie that I had. And I got through the Christopher Reeve ones, and then I watched Superman Returns, and then I was like, well, I got a couple more animated ones before I hit Man of Steel. So I was like, I'll watch this one with Bruce Timm, and I was like, I don't remember it being. I remember I don't remember anything about it at all.
Uh-huh.
And so I started watching it, and I've never seen an uglier Superman model in my entire life. It is so hideous.
Did it just not date well?
No, they didn't even use the animation from the animated series.
Oh.
It's the same model, but shifted a little bit to make everyone uglier.
Weird.
It is the weirdest movie, and the ugliest movie I've ever seen. And the whole time watching it, just going, we love Bruce Timm, right, Billy? We love him.
Absolutely.
He's a cherished thing. But the most recent things that we've had from him have been that Harley Quinn movie, correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We love him, right?
Right.
Okay. Just want to keep that in mind. So when you watch this, or don't watch it, and just look up the pictures of it, do admire the work of the great Bruce Timm. Anyway.
It's funny, now that you brought it up, though, like Superman movies, I really love the Christopher Reeve stuff. Up until the Richard Pryor one, then they start kind of losing a little bit. And then
I've never seen 3 and 4 until this last.
Do you kind of wish you hadn't?
No, I liked number 3, actually. For some reason, I just thought it was so ridiculous that it just made me laugh the whole time. It was, like, goofy. I really enjoy that. That's the same reason I like Roger Moore Bond movies.
Okay.
Just because they're way over the top. But the 4th one, I wish I hadn't seen.
Yeah, it's pretty. That being said, with the animated, my favorite Superman animated movie is the one. Now, the name escapes me, so Barry or Billy probably saved me on this one, but it's the one where he actually teams up with Billy Batson and Shazam, and they take on Black Adam.
Oh, yeah, that's the one with all the shorts on it.
I think it's just called Superman Shazam, right?
Yeah, it's like Superman Shazam, The Return of Black Adam.
That sounds right.
Something like, it's just awesome.
Yeah,
it is. And all those shorts are actually really, really good, too. The Green Arrow short's one of my favorite Green Arrow things that's ever been done.
Yep.
Nice.
That's exactly what it's called.
It is, it really?
Black Adam, yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
That's my favorite Superman animated. It's just, the action's great, the storytelling is really good.
Yeah.
This morning with a couple of my older kids, I watched the Justice League Flashpoint Paradox cartoon movie from a few years ago, and
oh, dark.
I know. A few scenes I was like, all right, look away for a second. But I kept thinking how cool it would have been if this recent live-action movie had some of those elements in it. But don't get me wrong, it had Michael Keaton, and it could have had nothing else, and I loved it just because of that alone.
Yeah, to be fair, though, Billy, we've had this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you love it, Billy?
I just love things.
It's true. He loves things.
From the bigger room, by the way. Do you have to explain to your principal, like, well, I've got more room now, so I got to bring more room thing.
It's funny, if we rewind time 8 years when I first started in this building, and the first day the principal walked into my decorated room, he was like, whoa. And I was like, hey, I love this stuff, but this is a tool, because the second these kids walk in the room, they're enamored, and they're like, oh my gosh, this guy likes the same stuff I do. And then boom, I have half the kids on my side day one. It's pretty cool.
Right on. That's awesome. And yeah, he's definitely a learning tool.
Exactly.
No, the real conversation was Billy begging him for an extra or more room because he can't fit any more toys in his house.
My house is full. I need a bigger room.
You don't understand. My wife won't let me have any more.
I gotta have a spillover.
Actually, he's getting to his limit already.
It's kind of, yeah.
That room, I don't know how much more you can put in there, in all honesty.
I know. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
Wow.
Okay, so hearing Taylor talk about ugly Bruce Timm stuff, this leads me to a really cool thing that Fountain City is doing with some Bruce Timm stuff.
Exactly.
Would you guys want to mention what's a really cool event you're doing leading up to the con itself?
Oh, we're doing a special thing?
I think we're doing a special thing the Friday night before the con.
Oh, that's right. We are.
Yeah.
It's really nice experience. Some people may not know that this year marks the 30th anniversary of one of the best Batman films ever, animated or live action, Batman Mask of Phantasm.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going to set up shop at the B&B Theaters in Shawnee, right off of Midland Drive in 435 at 7 o'clock. And we're going to screen that movie on the big screen for everybody that, are either fans of the film or have never really been able to see the film on the big screen, like when it was released. That may not be a huge thing, except for the fact that in attendance will be both the writer and main producer of that movie, Alan Burnett, and one of the sequence directors and longtime Batman the Animated Series storyboarder and producer, Kevin Altieri.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're going to do a little Q&A with them, and that will be led by, interestingly enough, a Kansas City-based former writer for Batman the Animated Series. His name is Mitch Bryan. As a matter of fact, he wrote the first aired episode of Batman the Animated Series, the On Leather Wings.
That's
the
awesome.
Man-Bat story.
Man-Bat, yeah. I just started rewatching the show myself a couple of weeks ago.
It's a great movie. It holds up. It holds up really well.
Yeah.
And as a side note to this, too, what's kind of special about this and with this year's show in general is this is Alan Burnett and Kevin Altieri's first time to Kansas City.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Emma, we got the first crack at them. So they're excited to come to Kansas City. We're excited for them to be here, of course. We're hoping Kansas City is excited for them to be here because, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but Batman the Animated Series is huge for me. Huge in my childhood and my, kind of my artwork, my career as a graphic designer, like seeing that new animation style and that way of storytelling to one of my favorite characters just kind of made a spark,
Yes.
Yeah, the art being that almost deco, art.
The art deco
like,
look, the combination of the retro vibe with modern technology, just that way of storytelling. When they did a two-parter, the cliffhanger was an awesome cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just really, really good stuff that kind of made an earmark for the other animated stuff that we see now,
Yep.
Exactly. I think Billy and I talk about it a lot, but like the three cartoons that probably that was at a young age that I'm like, oh my goodness, superheroes. It was Batman, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. All those, and they were all playing like at the same time. It was a really awesome time to be a fan of that if you like to get up early in the morning.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about I was in college living in Denver at the time that the animated series came on, and we would get back from class to the dorm room just in time, and we would have floor-wide, choose the dorm room, watch the animated series parties every afternoon before we had to get our classwork done. That's a great memory I take with that, too.
That's amazing.
The camaraderie of people that I'd really never met or barely knew. We would all just conglom in one dorm room to watch the animated series and then go our separate ways. And I made, new friends that way, too, so it was pretty cool. That's the type of stuff I tie in with the animated series. So with the movie, that's just, an expanded idea on that. And to have, Mr. Animated Series himself, Alan Burnett, at our show, I just feel like this is huge for us.
It is so
You
cool.
feel like it's like a full circle moment kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we've got the tickets on sale for that. And, Barry and I just kind of want to emphasize that, you get these guys all to yourselves. You buy the pass, the VIP pass. There's a limited edition print that Kevin made just specifically for the Q&A and for the show. That'll be on hand. You can have them sign them right there. Possible remarks, maybe. I'm not going to speak for them, but the Q&A alone, you get to pick their brains. You get to find out why, where, what were they doing when they, came up with the ideas. So that kind of stuff fascinates me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's awesome.
So that package, as Judd says, the screening, the Q&A, special limited edition print by Kevin Altieri, signed by the two creators. And on top of that, you get a weekend pass to Fountain City for both days, including early bird access, starting at 9 a.m. instead of the 10 o'clock. Admittance for everybody else, which means you can get your sticky fingers on comics and toys and whatnot before anybody else does. So
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Whatnot this year. I heard it's going to be great.
should be.
We've just been working on it all year. We have no idea really what we've done.
We're very excited.
We're a week and a half out. Our brains are fried.
Right.
Kind of, yeah.
Hey, I get it. That's a lot of good work. You're doing the Lord's work out there.
Let our listeners know where they can go to get their hands on this deal.
You can just go to www.fountaincitycon, all one word, .com, and click tickets, and it'll be, actually, it's the first option. We've got a special reduced price for kids if you want to bring the kids in and give them a treat and maybe introduce them to the magic of Batman, animated Batman, as Alan Burnett brought him to life for Bruce Timm and the rest of those guys.
I'll even throw out and say, too, if you're undecided, and you all of a sudden, like, I'm going to go, just if you show up at B&B, we'll get you your VIP pass there, too. We'll take care of you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember going to the theater seeing it the first time, so it would be nuts as an adult.
I'm excited to see it on the big screen again.
I actually never saw it on the big screen, so I'm actually really jazzed for that.
Yeah,
I never saw it on the big screen as a kid either.
Oh, man, it's amazing, especially the scene where they're fighting in the tiny city. It just seems larger than life. That scene is so much more epic.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. We're really excited. We're really excited for anybody that gets to go see it.
Yeah, tickets are still available, so get in on the old interwebs and click away.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of the actual main thing itself, on the 5th and 6th, let our listeners know what kind of guests can they expect to see and what kind of things can they expect to buy, and yeah, just give us a rundown.
So, much like last year, you come into the show and you get a crayon and some paper and you just kind of sit around and draw. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Totally kidding.
Wow.
Our brains are fried and the comedy's coming out. No, okay, so...
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That wasn't
That's
your
what you call it, comedy.
That was comedy gold. Okay, so on Saturday, we do have a full slate. Well, we've got a whole slate all weekend. We've got a gaming area that's going to be powered up by Bruce Squad Entertainment. Johnny Reed, is going to head up and kind of oversee gaming tournaments, including D&D, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, Shatterpoint. There's a couple others.
Marvel game.
There's a Marvel game. Pardon me for kind of having a brain fart, but I know that there's the Shatterpoint, D&D, and Magic, and I do believe there's a couple others that we're going to be doing tournaments. The schedule of those things should be up on our website or our Facebook page. I know that Casey Game On is coming in and setting up some console gaming as well, adjacent to the board gaming area. So we'll have, come on in and play some
Mario Kart,
Smash
Smash Brothers Ultimate. They're going to bring a couple of mini NESs in, so there's going to be other games that you get to play, the old school games. We're going to have a cosplay contest again. And this year, the stakes are even higher than they were last year. I mean, we gave out some decent prizes last year, but top prize for Best in Show is pretty significant. You get $400 cash, and you get a 1-year subscription to the Stan Winston School of Character Design, which is a big thing, especially if you're into cosplay and creating your own work in that regard. Speaking of the cosplay will be held on our live stage, and it's not just the only thing like it was last year. This year we've got live art exhibitions by all of our guests pretty much throughout the weekend. That'll include
Bernard Chang, Chris Burnham,
Bob Hall.
Bob Hall's going to be doing one.
Joe Rubenstein.
Oh, wow.
An industry legend, if there ever was one. The man holds the Guinness World Record for having 8 of the most comic pencilers of anybody in the industry ever. Guy's done at least something like 25,000 pages worth of comic art.
Wow.
And as if that wasn't enough drawing and inking, we're going to have him do some more.
And, I mean, keep in mind, too, Joe Rubenstein is doing some iconic artwork. Like,
oh, yeah.
Covers that you see that are grails. He's got a hand in it.
He's the deadline maker.
He pretty much is. I mean, he's made all sorts of artists look even better than they already were. The guy is so super talented. I mean,
yeah,
we're thrilled to have him. And along with that, we did say Chris Burnham, but we're also bringing in his partner in crime on the Unstoppable Doom Patrol limited series. It's been selling like hotcakes. Writer Dennis Culver will be in town.
Nice.
So we're going to have that. Who else are we bringing in, Judd? Brent Peebles is coming back. We've got local talent, Megan Levins, Valdemar Rivas, Andy Parks is there, Kyle Strom. Gosh, the list just keeps going on and on. Rick Stacy, another one of the old school comic guys. I mean, he started his career with like Charlton Comics. So, I mean, he's got a plethora, I mean, just a ton of comic stores you need to stop by if you just want to listen to the history of comics. That guy knows so much about the comics industry, at least in the heyday.
Awesome. And let's see, let the listeners know if they come this year. I hear there's going to be a few panels. What's that going to be like?
Oh, yeah. New components for 2023. We decided we'd try our hand at getting some panels in there. If you, for some reason, missed the VIP screening of Batman Mask of the Phantasm, we will have a Batman the Animated Series specific panel with Mitch Bryan, Alan Burnett, Kevin Altieri, and another local artist, the supremely talented Todd Aaron Smith, who worked on the animated series as well. So you can pick all of their brains. You can ask about storyboarding, plotting, all those kinds of things, how they taste the show so that it would fit, a 30-minute block and whatnot. Bernard Chang will be in a panel. You can ask him about Monkey Prince and the upcoming follow-up, Monkey Prince 2, that he's doing. Then we'll have Dennis Culver and Chris Burnham talking about Unstoppable Doom Patrol. Joe Rubenstein will be in there talking about his legendary career.
Stacey and Meg Levins and a couple others are going to be talking about licensed comics.
Working on licensed comics and how we deal with, working with likenesses. Famous people like Megan just did a Star Trek Strange New Worlds spinoff book a couple months ago. Spun right out of the end of the first season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, but she could tell you what it was like trying to meet the publisher's requirements for the likenesses of the characters like Pike and the rest of those guys, Anson Mount and whatnot. Buster Moody's in there.
Yeah.
Jeff Edwards, I believe, are going to be in those because Jeff did G.I. Joe and Buster's done Godzilla. So, I mean, all of those guys are going to be talking about what it's like to work within a framework of the requirements of those particular studios and whatnot when they do the spin-off comics. And then Sunday is kind of like our ode to the podcast lineup. We've got Worst Comic Podcast Ever coming in, doing an episode of their podcast. I don't know. There's a couple of guys.
I've heard some good and bad things about these two guys. Something about the Infinite Taylorverse. They're going to be showing up.
Is that the name of that?
Yeah. I heard we got to clean up after them.
I don't know.
Yeah, one of them. The other one, not so much.
Hey, don't
All we
talk
know
about
is
yourself
guys,
like
the
that.
Comic Coffee House out in Olathe vouched for them, so we figured they must be decent guys. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We figured we'd give them a shot.
All right.
And then
we have a portfolio review that's actually a component that I'm pretty excited about because as a art student from back in the day, I don't know, it would probably have meant everything to me to have an industry professional look over my stuff and critique it, give me some guidance, give me some lessons, like I'll kind of, spot on the fly, and you get your chance at our show. You can bring your writings, you can bring your sketches, and we'll have some industry leaders in both writing and art looking over stuff,
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
And so you guys know, and maybe some of your listeners might be thinking about bringing their kids, some of which might be, as they say, on the spectrum, or people that get a little, a little bit of sensory overload.
Just need to relax or catch a breath.
We'll have a sensory room, and that's sponsored by Betty's Pies and Cobblers.
Oh, that's cool.
That's so awesome.
Kind enough to have some items in that room, fidget spinners and whatnot.
Yeah, we called it the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, I like it.
It's a way for them to kind of unwind and decompress if things on the floor get to be a little too much for them.
It's up out of the way of the main floor, just kind of a nice, quiet area. So,
and I forgot. Casey Brick Lab is coming in, and we'll have a pretty decent-sized Lego display.
That's cool.
Including an interactive component. So if you want to, dig in and try to build something, I believe they're going to have something that'll scratch that itch and whatnot.
I specifically asked Casey Brick Lab to bring just a bag of loose Legos so I could power bomb my partners on them.
Amazing.
Actually, no. What we're planning on like roping off an area and running a contest. Whoever can walk the furthest on a 20.
Like hot cold. Like something Legos.
Oh, it's a 20-foot long bed of loose Legos. If you can make it across, we'll give you free tickets to next.
Totally like The Office. Like, I'm going to choose my next leader, walk across the Legos.
So, yeah, we're going to have all sorts of little nifty things going on.
And the benders. We got the great benders. And, on the live stage, I've got, this is kind of near and dear to my heart, I've got the School of Rock house bands from Blue Valley and Lee Summit coming to do some live music for us. So
Awesome.
2 45-minute sets on Saturday, one for Blue Valley, one for Lee Summit. These kids are ultra talented, and I get to work with them every day. So I figured I'd show them off a little bit.
They're talented despite Judd working with them.
Yeah,
we'll put it that way.
They listen to me, and then they do the opposite.
And that's how we know they're good.
Fair enough.
I'm not musically talented whatsoever, so. My talent comes in reading comic books and watching television. I'm a lazy
Oh, man, I'm so good at that, too.
Yep, gold medalist over here.
That's why I love you, Barry.
Oh, gee. Well, the feeling is mutual, Taylor.
Oh.
Well, that's awesome, guys. I know I'm speaking for me, but I'm sure I'm speaking for many. The event's been awesome in the past few years happening, and it's for me and Taylor, we've loved being a part of it, and we're excited to be a part of it this year. And you've mentioned so many cool things, and for those of you listening, I'm sure there's a few things that we haven't even mentioned, but go to the website, go to the Facebook, the Instagram, and look at all the list of things going down on August 5th and 6th. And don't forget the Batman Mask of the Phantasm screening the Friday night before, and just go check all the things out, and you're not going to want to miss this event.
Well, we hope you don't.
We hope you don't miss it. We hope you want to come out and hang out and have some fun with us.
There is one other component we'll tie it up. Pretty much all of our creative guests have agreed to donate either an original piece or a comics page or something like that to our annual silent auction offerings to benefit the Hero Initiative.
Oh, awesome.
And, I mean, you should see the one that, like, Joe Rubenstein himself, I mean, I've already seen the image of the piece that he's bringing. It's pretty fantastic. If it doesn't have a bidding war, if it doesn't spark a bidding war, you're all going to get snapped.
Yeah. We're going to riot.
Any hints on the subject matter?
It might be. I can neither confirm nor deny.
You might get snapped. Interesting. Now, much like all the other Fountain Cities from lore, from the one-day shows to last year's, first 2-day offerings, we put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, cuss words into it. We want to produce a destination show, one that people talk about, look forward to. I've said it before in a couple of videos. Fountain City is its own show. Barry, Brian, Johnny Reed, and Judd. And we're just trying to make a good show that's organically grown and grows within the comic community,
Yep.
And you guys are doing great.
Absolutely.
One, because it feels like every time the leap forward feels organic. Not only that, is that the vibe of it is all good. Haven't dealt with any curmudgeon-y, at least on our end. And that's a breath of fresh air. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. With every big outing like this, I mean, I can't speak for Barry, but I'm probably speaking for Barry. You get that little wave of self-doubt, like 5 people are going to show. And wah, but we're hoping people come out and have some fun.
Oh, yeah. Taylor already kind of said it, but the vibe is just so relaxed and fun and family friendly, and there's stuff to do, and it keeps true to the core nature of being a comic convention, and I think people love that about it, and I know we do, and yeah, good vibes all around. We never left any experience we had, whether it was a vendor, a creator, a guest, the showrunners, us doing our podcast thing. Every experience on our behalf has been extremely positive, and just hearing other people talk about it, I've only heard nothing but positive. So yeah, just like Taylor said, congrats guys, and we're just excited to keep being a part of it. Thanks for having us back each time.
So earlier you had asked what you were nerding on this week. I'm curious what Barry's been nerding on this week.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, I kind of pretty much said it. I mean, Star Trek Strange New World is my new guilty pleasure. some people have been kind of not as pleased with the second season as the first, but I personally think it has been fantastic. I mean, who would have thought of Star Trek ever, or any science fiction property ever doing a crossover between two shows, one of which is an animated show?
Yes.
And
Have you already
bringing the
watched it?
animated characters over into live action, and then vice versa. But that's saying too much if you haven't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil anything.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. We have major spoiler alert warnings at the beginning of each episode, and
All of that.
I watched
Yeah.
it last night, and it was absolutely amazing.
And you know something, if you pay attention to the trailer for season 3 of Lower Decks, you actually get a crossover because they mention Strange New Worlds again right in there. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And what else? Futurama season 11 just got released. I'm looking forward to watching that. And then something I think you guys might be talking about later, and I haven't watched the final episode, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's Marvel's Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I have so many things that I wanted to do at this end that I hope I haven't hyped it up too much in my head, but every episode's been so good, I don't know if I can. It's just been really, really good. Like, stupid good. I wasn't expecting it to be at the caliber it was, because it was just so quiet about everything. And usually I feel like when it's, everyone's quiet about it, it's either really good or really bad. So I was kind of, okay. And then going into it in every episode, I just leave it. I'm like, come on.
I need more.
At the end of it.
That's my main point of confusion when it comes to, I guess, fanboys and some of the, and even the non-fanboys that'll complain about, things starting off slow, especially when it comes to something that's so laden with an espionage vibe.
Yeah.
I'm like, those types of things have to be a slow burn. You have to build on it. I mean, it's the same type of, I'm hearing the same type of comments that we heard when Disney Plus released Star Wars Andor, and it was just such a slow burn. But then after the last couple episodes, people were just like, oh my God, it's one of the best things Star Wars has ever released. And you're like, okay, well, use that, just keep that mindset and watch Secret Invasion, and I guarantee you're going to enjoy it. I mean,
I will say I'm one of the guilty ones after the first episode of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where is this going? Oh, my gosh. But then, I mean, snail pace is a snail pace. I'll watch it and I'll absorb details and stuff. And I watched it 2 or 3 times just to make sure I wasn't missing anything like really hidden Easter egg or whatever. But, once the ball got rolling, holy crap.
I don't know. After the first episode of the Secret Invasion, I was just like, come on, why is it over? Just get to the next one. It was just so, every episode, I was like, why? At the very end of it, it was another hook after every episode. It was like WandaVision. And it was just,
I know.
And Samuel L. Jackson, at probably one of his best versions of this character he's ever played.
Well, I mean, he's added new facets to the character that, there's a couple, because Judd hasn't seen it and he can't stick his fingers in his ears or whatnot. You can turn your hearing aids off.
I do.
I mean, there's a couple reveals about Fury that you're like, oh, well, that just adds depth to the character, and that's pretty cool. You get to peel back some of the layers a little bit. But then at the end of the last episode, and you're like, oh, now Fury's back. Now,
Yep.
This is the Fury that everybody wants, and he's back, and, the Skrulls better watch out. So
yeah. One of my favorite parts in the series so far was him and his wife talking back and forth. It gave really Pulp Fiction Tarantino dialogue vibes for a good 4 to 5 minutes there.
Oh, yeah.
That I really loved.
And I can't wait to find out by the end of this who else has just been a Skrull this whole time. They're going to reveal somebody else. I hope they do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that could be. Well, the one big reveal was huge. You're like, how long has that been?
Exactly.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah, we talked about in the last episode. We're like, what if he still has his legs?
Oh, God.
I mean, it's something to really bring up. When did they take him, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If he could be in one piece better than we know, and then comes back, and that's what Armor Wars is about. Maybe it was before the end of the war, he comes back and he's like, "Oh, Tony's dead and all of his stuff's everywhere. I got to destroy it all so that he has a better legacy." Maybe that's what this version of Armor Wars is going to be.
Well,
But that's
it
just my theory.
could be. I'm also wondering if this whole secret invasion thing, especially with the introduction of what we would call the Super Scroll,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Marvel's, sly little way of planting the seeds of Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Be crazy if
And
they
if
named
he's
up those
gonna-
guys.
If Gravik's going to be part of that.
Yep.
Yeah, what if he has the Fantastic Four powers, or one of them does?
Well, I mean, they're touching on it because of his, all that Avengers stuff
Yep.
in one
Yeah.
serum. I mean, he could end up having
The Harvest.
all sorts of powers. Who knows? All will be revealed in time.
Yep. And since we've asked everyone else, I gotta know, Judd, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
Well, a couple things. From the San Diego Comic-Con releases, I'm a huge Big Lebowski fan.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of the exclusives was a Funko Pop of Lebowski in the Tai Chi pose, holding a White Russian.
That's
I got
amazing.
mine in the mail today.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Pretty
amazing.
stoked about that. And then McFarlane Toys announced during San Diego this statue of Batman that's based on one of the Year 2 covers. Or not necessarily the cover, but it's the final page of the four-parter. So it's this just giant McFarlane caked Batman suspended over a cityscape.
That's
This
cool.
statue looks just amazing. And the price tag makes me fall out of my chair. So I'll just look at it online for a while. But it's gorgeous. It's amazing.
That is awesome.
Can't tell Judd's a Batman guy, can you?
You're
Not at all.
Never would have
It was
guessed.
Boba Fett.
All right, you guys. Well, those of you listening, next week we will talk about our take on how they wrapped up Secret Invasion and a few other things that have been out in the news, but we wanted to devote this episode to Fountain City Con so you guys could hear a rundown from the guys themselves. So get yourselves prepared, get ready for August 5th and 6th, and go to the website, buy your tickets, go to the Facebook, drop some love, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we certainly hope so. But the only way to find out is to show up and come to the show and join in.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
also, yeah. I also,
Yeah.
You tell them, Steve Dave.
I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to give us a little chance to draw about the show.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, man. Anytime you guys want to come on.
Definitely.
I'm crashing your panel on Sunday.
Yes, those
All
of you
right.
guys listening that want to be part of a
We'll be
live
fine.
episode, come out on Sunday at Fountain City Con and join the fun. But hey,
Awesome.
as for
Thanks,
us
guys.
here at the
No
Taylorverse,
problem.
I've been Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
Come back next week, same Taylor time, same Taylor channel. Bye.
Bye.